ICBN, which provides agreed principles and criteria for naming plants, stands for International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. According to the universal rules of binomial nomenclature, how should the scientific name of mango be correctly written when printed? Mangifera indica. The process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters is termed classification. The scientific term for any unit used in the system of classification, e.g., species, genus, family, is taxon. Systematics, as a branch of study, primarily takes into account identification, nomenclature, classification, and evolutionary relationships. Which of the following represents the correct sequence of taxonomic categories in ascending order? Species right-pointing arrow, genus right-pointing arrow, family right-pointing arrow, order right-pointing arrow, class right-pointing arrow, phylum right-pointing arrow, kingdom. The lowest taxonomic category, which represents a group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities, is known as species. The organisms Panthera leo, lion, Panthera pardus, leopard, and Panthera tigris, tiger, all belong to the same genus. In plant taxonomy, families are primarily characterized on the basis of both vegetative and reproductive features. The order Polymonals in plants includes families such as Solanaceae and Convolvulaceae. Class Mammalia includes the order Primata, monkey, gorilla, gibbon, and also the order Carnivora. Animals like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals are included in phylum Chordata based on common features like presence of notochord and dorsal hollow neural system. In the taxonomic hierarchy, the category that includes all animals belonging to various phyla is Kingdom Animalia. As one moves from species to kingdom in a taxonomic hierarchy, the number of common characteristics among organisms generally decreases. Ernst Mayr, hailed as the Darwin of the 20th century, made significant contributions to evolutionary biology, particularly in pioneering the currently accepted definition of a biological species. The system of providing a name with two components, generic name and specific epithet, was given by Carolus Linnaeus. Before assigning a scientific name to an organism, nomenclature, it must be correctly described. This process is called identification. Which of the following sets includes processes that are basic to taxonomy? Characterization, identification, nomenclature, classification. Carolus Linnaeus used which of the following titles for his publication that laid the foundation for systematic arrangement of organisms? Systema Naturae. In the scientific name Mangifera indica * Linn, the abbreviation, Linn, indicates that Linnaeus was the first to describe this species. Scientific names are generally in Latin and printed in italics primarily to indicate their Latin origin. In the binomial name Felis catus, Felis * starts with a capital letter because it represents the Genus name. According to the text, the earliest classifications of organisms by human beings were primarily based on uses of various organisms. Which statement is correct regarding taxa? Taxa can represent categories at very different levels of classification. To which family does Homo sapiens, man, belong according to Table 1.1? Hominidae. The correct taxonomic order for Musca domestica, housefly, is Diptera. Mangifera indica, mango, belongs to the class Dicotyledonnae. The family Poaceae, which includes wheat, Triticum aestivum *, belongs to the order Poles. The concept that a species is a group of actually or potentially interbreeding natural populations that are reproductively isolated from other such groups was central to the work of Ernst Mayr. In the taxonomic hierarchy, each rank or taxon represents a unit of classification. In plant classification, the category, division, is equivalent to which category in animal classification? Phylum. A taxonomic category that is an assemblage of related genera is known as family. Higher taxonomic categories like order and class are generally identified based on aggregates of characters. A significant outcome of systematic studies was the recognition that living organisms share similarities, both horizontally and vertically. The revelation that all present-day living organisms are related to each other, and to all organisms that ever lived on Earth primarily led to cultural movements, the conservation of biodiversity. Which of the following is not a primary purpose of assigning scientific names to organisms? To make the names difficult for laypeople to understand. In the scientific name Solanum tuberosum, potato, tuberosum, represents the specific epithet. The genus Solanum * includes species like Tuberosum *, nigrum, and Melangina. This indicates that a genus can have one or more specific epithets representing different organisms with morphological similarities. The animal families Felidae, cats, and Canidae, dogs, are included in the same order, which is Carnivora. Which of the following was mentioned as a basis for the earliest * classifications by humans, rather than a primary basis for modern * taxonomic studies? Uses of various organisms for basic needs. The fundamental question, what indeed is life, has two implicit questions. The chapter, The Living World, primarily attempts to reflect on the technical question of what living is as opposed to non-living. When a biological name is handwritten, it should be separately underlined for both the generic name and specific epithet. The text states that as one goes higher in the taxonomic hierarchy, e.g., from species to kingdom, the difficulty in determining the relationship to other taxa at the same level becomes greater. Taxonomists have developed subcategories within the main taxonomic ranks primarily to facilitate more sound and scientific placement of various taxa. Identify the correctly written scientific name for mango from the options below, assuming it is typed. Mangifera indica. Which statement best describes the primary purpose of biological classification? To organize the vast diversity of life into a manageable and informative system. In Table 1.1, Triticum aestivum, wheat, is classified under the class Monocotyledonnae. According to the text, a common feature of all such forms of inanimate and animate objects for early man was the sense of awe or fear that they evoked. The branch of biology that deals with the principles and procedures of identification, nomenclature, and classification of organisms is known as taxonomy.
Subscribe now.